Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Misfits Racing League Season number 6. My name is Mikhail, all the way from Sydney, Australia, and I'll be taking you through the America's Tier 2 grid as they tackle the Bahrain International Circuit for the season opener for this final season on F1 2021, and they'll be doing battle around the Bahrain International Circuit, which is now coming up on your screens. 5.4 kilometers, 3.3 miles, 15 turns with 3 DRS zones into turns 1, 4, and 11 to assist with some overtaking opportunities. There will be 18 rounds in this current season before we head off to the newly opened Jeddah Klondike Circuit in Saudi Arabia next week for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, before we go to Albert Park for the third round in this 18-round season. And then we have Imola, Kota, we have Monaco to round off the first third, with Portugal, Baku, Canada, Silverstone, Austria, and France for the second third, and then finally Belgium, the Netherlands, China, Japan, Abu Dhabi, and finishing off the season in Sao Paulo, Brazil. 20 drivers, 10 teams, all with one goal in mind. Here is a quick look at the drivers who will be fronting the grid for this occasion. Captain Minor and Lewis Hamilton in that Mercedes. We'll have Strifium replacing Duffield and Rao in the Red Bulls. Combined YouTuber and Spinini for the Scuderia Ferrari, with Hello I'm Hacker and Jay Fasai in McLaren. Paula Brady and Elias One in that Alpine outfit, with Yose and Carlin in AlphaTauri. Bean and Waffleorian have front the Aston Martins for this grid, with Connors and Henners, the two Brits, representing Team Williams. Werdad and Alva in that Alfa Romeo, with Cattle King and NYK for Haas. Now, we should just about be getting things underway. So I'll turn that off. We'll head over to the game. And I am very, very excited indeed. Actually, it looks like just getting a few things ready to go. So apologies for the stream stuffing up during the intro sequence, and yeah, just Streamlabs not really playing nicely, but what can you do? So 18 rounds before we get things underway, and yeah, Bahrain is going to be a very, very intense affair. Kota's basically the same thing, all right? That region of Europe, all right? I'm sorry, he's Irish, okay, my bad. But here we go. So 3 seconds on the clock, and then we are just getting things underway as we speak. Yes, Jacob, Strifium is on this grid. He is in his favorite car ever, the Red Bull. And if you ask him how much he absolutely loves Red Bull, I'm sure he will give you a very, very honest answer. So just waiting on Alvarez to get in here. DX Surf, welcome. And Maxine with a gift sub this time to our reigning America's Tier 2 champion. Course, getting that promotion, but unfortunately unable to make the America's Tier 1 grid, so we can't go against Becky B, who will be going for his three-peat in this season. So that looks a little bit more familiar. Night skies, but no clouds in sight at the moment. Just get everything set up and good to go. So all 20 drivers on this grid. And yet again, some drivers opting for the mediums for their first run. And I'm just so excited that the Misfits Racing League is back. You cannot believe how long of a wait it has been on the sidelines. Of course, everyone trying to show the skills that they have gathered through the first season on this game. What they have learned about the cars, about the setups, and just about how to approach every single corner on every single track. So, once again, alright, there we go. So, first car out on track this time is one of the Haases, and it is NYK, or Nick. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce it. I'm going to say Nick. for this broadcast, and of course they can we can fix it later if we need. I agree, Gauzy. He has a very, very nice helmet indeed. See if we can get an off-board shot of it. Nice black contrast with the white hearse. You know, some say that if you have a good lid, it reduces your lap times by about 0.2 of a second. So we'll see if that holds true. He will be taking us around the Bahrain International Circuit for the first time. Now, I usually do this with Seb over in AFR for the first hot lap. So Nick will take us around a lap of the Bahrain International Circuit for round 1 of 18 for MRL season number 6. So it's a long round down to a very harsh braking zone, braking just around the 120 meter mark, and you want to make sure you get the best exit possible, and it's all about throttle control coming through these first 3 corners. Now DRS wide open once again as you run up the hill towards the right-hander of turn number 4, braking around 100 meters. He's gone extremely deep, locking that right front tire, but it seems to have kept it within the track limits. Now through the S's of 5, 6, and now 7, down the hill towards turn 8 as you start to head towards the technical part of the lap. A little bit squirrely on the exit of turn 8, but it's turns 9 and 10. This double apex left-hander that is so tricky on the brake pedal, as that left front just really wants to lock up and scream at you. Now, the final DRS zone braking around the 60 meter mark for turn number 11, and you run up the hill once again through this fast S through turns 11, now 12, careful on that inside curb, and then 13, it's all about carrying that speed, keeping the minimum speed up, using the entire track that is available to you to get the best drive towards the final 2 corners, turns 14 and 15, and again using the track to its fullest to get the drive that he needs, and it looks like a pretty clean lap. What's the first lap time on the board going to be? It's 1 minute 30.0, and then Lewis Hamilton just does 2 seconds better as LAS1 goes to the top of the timesheets with a 1:27.8. Henner's is 1:27.5. Cattle King 26.7, and these times are coming in thick and fast. Bernini now on the front row, 1:27.1. Let's go on board with Strifium as he comes across the line to finish his first lap in the season, and it's good enough for 7th. Now make that 8th place with a 1:28.4 as Jose comes across on that front row. Captain Minor, aka Major Carlsman, as he is now known as, into 9th place, right behind his teammate, and all these guys are... what has happened with Strifium? He is off at the runoff area at turn 1. Not quite sure what's happened there. Word Dad coming across the line now. He got himself onto the front row, about half a tenth between himself and Cattle King. The 1:26.848. Combined YouTuber now in the Ferrari this season, coming into the right-hander of turn number 4. Taking turns 5, 6, and 7. This classic bright green helmet, and Strifium has crashed out of the session, and there he is, right on the right-hand side of turn 8, on his in-lap no less. So a shaky start for the Canadian. DXF with the combined support in the chat. Of course, those two Alfa Romeo teammates took the Constructors' Championship last season in America's Tier 2. So here we go now through the second sector. It's a purple metal sector as well. We know how generous a game can be on that one, but it has looked like a pretty clean lap so far. Only one more braking zone to go. That is this one for turns 14 and 15. He hits the inside curb a little bit, trying to rotate the car as much as he can. Up towards the line. What's the time going to be for the Ferrari? And it is 3rd place, 1:26.903, 100 ahead of the AlphaTauri behind him. So it looks like we have Larkin out there, just coming out of the pits. Word out. Coming into the pits. currently on that front row. Very nice effort from the Alfa Romeo driver. So lots of cars just sitting in the pit lane. Sparkplug, gotta have you back, Emerald. Well, it's glad to be back, Sparkplug, and you have 18 weeks of pure intensity ahead of you. It's going to be a really, really thrilling, entertaining, and fun season before we go into the new era with the release of F1 2022. I absolutely can't wait. You guys have been keeping up with the F1 news recently. Quite a few car reveals have been announced. I know personally the AlphaTauri will be coming out on Valentine's Day in just a couple of weeks' time. I know the Ferrari is some time around that point as well. The Mercedes is going to be revealed as well. It's all happening the start of February before the season kicks off mid-March. So no drivers currently out there on hot laps, but Larkin will be starting one in that lovely AlphaTauri car. DRS wide open as he goes towards turn 1. Quite a few cars coming out of the pits, and hopefully they're able to stay well and truly out of the way. LAS1 right on that right hand side causes no issues for the AlphaTauri. Up the hill, DRS. This turn 4 we saw, I do believe that was Nick, really mess up that corner on his first attempt. Larkin did navigate it pretty well. Now 5th gear as you go through turn 6 and the upshift for turn number 7. Careful of the exit curve of the S's, it can really unsettle the car. And then turn 8 where we saw Striffing crash out a few minutes ago. Larkin, it looks pretty clean so far. Now down towards turns 9 and 10. Doesn't lock up that inside front, hits the apex as well, but not really using all the track available on the exit. Now for the flowing S bit of turns 11 and 12. Lots of cars piled up at turn 1. But no issues thus far. Cattle King still out there on provisional pole with a 126.7. Half a tenth separates first and second, and another half tenth separates second and third. So it's all really, really tight between our top 4 at the moment. With Yosei just 1/100th behind combining Shiba. Larkin, his teammate, goes to the top of the timing sheet to 126.5 for the AlphaTauri, and that is a very quick lap indeed, as we have lots of drivers now starting their next flying laps. Hello, I'm Hacker. Goes into 6th place, getting ahead of Spanini by 6 milliseconds. There's absolutely nothing in it between all these guys. Cotters goes to the top of the timing sheet with a 1 at 26.4. Let's jump on board now with his teammate, who has unfortunately invalidated his lap time. So Hennes will have 1 more shot at it, or 2 more if he wants to use that set of medium compound tyres, as Nick improves to a 7th place, the 126.9. That'll be the Red Bull of Rao, or Roar, let's say Rao, for this stream. And he's able to improve to that front row. 3 milliseconds in it between our 2 front row sitters at the moment. Wow. So it is anyone's game on this grid, and I have absolutely no idea how this grid is going to be shaping up. Werder now starting his next flying lap. He was on pole a few moments ago, but now as drivers continue to improve, he has been dropped all the way to 5th place. Let's see how he navigates this first complex of corners. It looks pretty clean so far. Other additions to this timing tower. Looks like Major Castleman just starting a lap in his Mercedes. Have one of the Haas about to finish. I do believe that is Cattle King. He improves to 3rd place, the 126.46. LAS1 now takes that 3rd place, the 126.450 for the Alpine. So look how close it is between all the guys there on this timing tower. We get the... should remember the keybinds by now, but I don't quite. So we'll have a gap to leader now on your screens. There is absolutely nothing in it between our top 5 right now. Wordout is set to improve as well. Yellow flags down the main straight as drivers just trying to stay out of the way and make sure they don't pick up any silly penalties from the stewards. Up 4.5 tenths as Wordout. He is right there in the mix as well. What can the Alfa Romeo do? Coming towards the final braking zone of the lap. Looks like Yosei improves to 6th. It looks like Rao goes into that provisional pole with a 1:26.2. Can we see a 1 minute 25s? Let me know in the chat if you please. Wordad, it's good enough for the front row right now. A 1:26.3. And my, oh my, 1 second is first to 13th right now, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely bonkers. And there goes the Aston Martin of Bean setting his next lap. They are 1 minute 26.8. And it looks like we had Major Castleman go up into 6th place as well. So, very, very intensity. One driver yet to set a lap time, and that is the Alfa Romeo of Alvarez. He seems to be going quite slowly at the moment. On an outlap, of course. And the time is ticking down throughout this session. Yellow flag still on the main straight with just under 6 minutes remaining. Just joining us, welcome to the Misfits Racing League. We are back for a 6th iteration. Alright, Gorziek. Another lobby set. Oh, come on. Another lobby settings wrong, seriously? Alright, well, might have to have a chat with Waffle after the end of this one. So, Alvarez starting his next flying lap attempt. Currently sitting last on the board with no time set at the moment. He is currently, I believe, the only driver out there on a flying lap. So, through the S section he goes, trying to keep it within bounds, uses a lot of curb on the exit. Car seems very lazy at the moment. Just can't quite keep the minimum speed up, but how does he navigate turns 9, 10? Misses the apex of 10s just slightly, but he's able to get a decent amount of grip on the exit. Now heading towards turns 11 and 12. And there we go. Tim Master, yes, it can happen if the tire temperature settings are not set to simulation for the surface and carcass. The carcass will remain locked while the surface fluctuates. But anyways, Alvarez coming around the final corner as we have basically all the drivers in the pit lane. What's the time going to be? It's good enough for 15th place, which demotes Triffium to the back of grid with a 1:27.006. Hello, I'm Hacker, and that McLaren has just started a flying lap going through turn 4, and you can see there are a lot of need to upgrade that my drivers as well, it would seem. So, hello, I'm Hacker. Now, going through turn 8, turns 9 and 10 now. And here we go. So, DRS wide open now. We have a couple of drivers also now on flying laps. Henna's been demoted down to 17th. Waffle Lauren in 18th as well. Those drivers will be looking to improve. Callum Hacker going through turn 12 now into 13. He's up by a 10th and a half. So he is right up there with Alvarez. He can maybe jump the Alfa Romeo, but he needs a lot of time in his final couple of corners if he wants to make any further progress up this order. Through turns 14 and 15 now goes the McLaren driver. What is the time going to be? As he approaches the line, DRS wide open. That fuel light is flashing. He's running on fumes and he improves. He improves 1 place. And just dips into the 1:26. The 1:26.9. Henna's up 4 and a bit tenths. He makes his way towards turn 11. And lots of drivers out there on fast laps, as there is only about 2.5 minutes left in the session. Nick is on a fast lap at the moment as well. A lot of drivers on out laps, including our top 3 at the moment. In fact, Raw has just started a flying lap. Ben Henry down towards the final couple of corners. We're going to jump on board with the Williams. He absolutely clobbers the apex curve. That might lose him a little bit of time. But DRS wide open. He might get a little slipstream for the guy in front. And he goes right in front of his teammate onto that second row. There's a second row lookout for Williams at the moment. A 1:26.384. Now, looking at our Red Bull driver, with Raw. Currently on provisional pole. He's up a tenth and a little bit already, as all these drivers now are starting their final laps. So, leave your predictions quickly in the chat. Who is going to be starting this race from pole? Who is going to be on that front row? And what is our back 10 going to look like? Oh, going through, down towards turn 11 once more. Cordes has retired, and so he won't be improving. He has crashed at the exit of turn 4. Coming up the hill goes the Red Bull driver. His teammate, unfortunately, crashing out of the session and starting in last place. So he has to go full Max Verstappen mode and have to carry this team. So one of the Alpines there just trying to get some temperature in the tyres before they start their final flying lap. Jumping on board with the Red Bull driver. What is the time going to be? He's been up through both the first and middle sectors. Has he found time in this final run? Yes, he has. A 1:25.8. We are into the 1 minute 25s, ladies and gentlemen. And that is incredibly fast lap time. Wordad has just started a lap. And it looks like Cattle King goes into that front row spot. The Haas driver, 1:26.347. Jumping a little bit further down, it has been in that Aston Martin, who has unfortunately aborted his lap. So he will not be improving. Let's go on board with Paula Brady as she makes her way towards turn 8. One of the Ferraris that I do believe that might be a combined YouTuber as Spinini, just starting his flying lap. So we'll go on board with the Ferrari for the time being, as he'll be the next to set a flying lap. He's up 2/3 of a second exactly. What is he able to do? Henna's retiring in the pit lane, so both Williams will not be improving. The checker flag has dropped. So all the laps that the drivers are currently on are the last chance they'll be getting to slingshot themselves up the grid order. What is combined? God, he's going on that front row right now, ladies and gentlemen. 1:26.13 now. Next to cross the line will be the Alfa Romeo of Alvatraz. And he will stay in 17th fastest. Major Carlsman stays in 8th fastest. Looks like Jose goes into 10th. Jumping on board now with Wordad. He has unfortunately invalidated his lap, so he will not be improving. LAS1 coming through the final couple of corners now. Can anyone get into the 125s and dislodge this Red Bull from running away with pole position? LAS1, he improves to get into front of the Williams of Cotters. He splits the Williams on that third row of the grid, but he can't get much further forward than that. Larkin going into the pit lane. Then it's Nick who will be finishing off his lap next. What will the Haas be able to do? Can he get anywhere near his teammate on the front of this order? No, he improves, but not enough to make a position. He will stay in 12th for the start of this race. Now, Lewis Hamilton, he's up nearly 0.6 of a second. What is it going to be? He improves, but I dare say he might have invalidated his lap. He will stay in 19th fastest. Bean now coming across the line. He's up 0.3 of a second. What can the Aston Martin do? He improves to 9th place, slotting himself right behind Major Castleman. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should be the starting order for this race. ATF1, I guess you can say the safety car will be at the front of things when they are sitting on the grid, but actually they will not be starting from pole, so that is indeed incorrect, I'm going to have to say. But it is the Red Bull of Raw on that pole position of 1:25.879, 2.5 tenths faster, or 3.5 tenths faster than combined YouTuber who will line up alongside, and then a lot of drivers in that 1:26.3 range. We can have a little look at the gap to leader. And there we go. You can see how close it is all the way down this grid. And migrating host, yes, it is migrating host, because there is indeed yet another lobby restart, because Waffle messed up the lobby settings a second time. Totally not salty, but it is what it is. So, here is the grid order. It is Raw on pole position with the 125.8 combined YouTuber in second, with a 126.1 Cattle King, Wordad, Hennas, LAS1 Cotters, Major Castleman, Bean, and Larkin round out the top 10. Paula will be the first driver with free tyre choice there in 11th for the Alpine. Jose in 12th, with Nick in 13th, followed by Jay Fasai, Spinini, Hello, I'm Hacker, Alvarez. Alvarez, where does that come from? Wolfalorian with Lewis Hamilton and Stryfium at the back of this grid. So we're going to have to wait once again for the lobby to be made. There will be safety cars. Just don't be the one causing them. That is very, very true. So if you need a safety car, the last thing you want to be doing is causing the safety car yourself. And just ending your race prematurely. But here we go on the grid now. So a reminder, the top 10 need to start on the soft compound tires. The back 10 can have free tire choice, and everyone should remember to load their race setups before really doing anything else, because that you cannot change. So the timer has now started to tick down. If you're just joining us, you're just in time for the opening round of MRL season number 6. This is the Americas Tier 2 grid. We've already had European Tiers 3 and 2 earlier in the week. And then we have the 2 Tier 1 grids tomorrow. So definitely get hyped for that. 5 seconds on the clock as we will wait to see what the back 10 have decided to do with the tyre strategies. Fuba pinning Stryfium for the win. I mean, he's in the race, so he has a shot at it, just like every single other driver down this grid. So, top 10 all on softs, but in the back 10 we have 2 drivers starting on the softs, and Stryfium is one of them, Fuba. Glad to know, trying to make up some early track position. Jay Fasai will be joining him on the soft compound tyres as well in 14th. So, here is a confirmation of your grid order. We have Raw, Combined YouTuber, Cattle King, Word Dad, Henna's, LES1, Cotters, Major Castleman, Bean, and Lark in your top 10. With Paula Brady, Yosei, Nick, Jay Fasai, Spanini, Hello I'm Hacker, Alvarez, Waffleorian, Lamilton, and Stryfium. Your back 10. Predictions coming in thick and fast. Cattle King for the dub. Exia, I dare say Cattle King definitely has a shot at it. If he's fixed his consistency issues that he struggled with a little bit last season around, then he definitely has a shot. And I think Brower Raw actually has a helmet very similar to Max Verstappen's real life helmet. You can see the white, the orange and red. Looks quite nice. He's even got the number 32, just one off of Supermax's race number. So Striven Soft's big move. Man's jinxing Cattle King. Well, yeah, just have to knock on wood. Word Dad for the dub. Can we see a Word Dad? That's 4th. Cattle King 3rd. Brown a good spot as well. I'd say combined all sides of a decent shot. Anyone in this top 7 realistically has a very, very good shot. And we'll have to see how the alternate strategy goes for those in the back 10. The things are about to go dark here, ladies and gentlemen. Terrell approaching his grid slot. You can see the grandstands absolutely filled, with the flags being shown all around the place. First race, let's see how the race pace is though. That is very true. Quali pace and race pace are not the same thing. And with how potent DRS and slipstream is, especially at a track like the Bahrain International Circuit, you could see quite the trains and quite the battles like we've already seen throughout this week thus far. Stryfium just lining up into his grid slot now. We'll get the details on screen for the positions gained or lost. And just waiting for the light sequence to begin. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights to start MRL season number 6. The lights are out and it's go, go, go. The Red Bull gets off to a great start indeed. Really combined getting a decent one as well. It's 4 wide behind them though, as it looks like the Alfa Romeo getting in the mix as well. We have an Alpine there going up the inside of turn 1 on the Ferrari. Oh my goodness, the Haas has gone round. The Haas has gone round. The Haas is out of the race already. Cattle King, he has been well and truly jinxed. And that is a virtual safety car at the start of this race. Your biggest winners right now, Lamilton up 5 places. LES1 was that Alpine going for an absolute amazing start into turn 1. He's up 4 places. Quite a few 5-second time penalties as well for both Major Castleman and Word Out off the start of this. But Cattle King, after a 3rd place qualifying performance, is out after 2 corners in this first race. Waffleorian also up 6 spots as well. He's had an amazing start for that Aston Martin. He's got the host start as well to boot, so that probably didn't hinder his performances at all. So, virtual safety car out here on the first lap of 29. And unfortunate for Cattle King and all those Haas fans in the chat, that is one car out of the taking. So Haas's hopes all rely on Nick in 10th place at the moment. He's made up a couple of positions as well, so nothing too much to fear there. But it's all about finding your rhythm now. When is this virtual safety car going in? There is a massive gap between the top 10 and the back 10. 3.2 seconds between Yosei and Nick. Looks like there's a bit of a gap between Paula Brady and Cotters as well. Rhapsody, thank you for joining us, sir. As it's green flag racing once again, and looks like Rao has almost already got that 1 second gap that he needs to break DRS. There's an exchange at the back, as there's another exchange here. Looks like Nick might be getting past couple, as Larkin and Paul are both into the pit lanes. Yosei as well, so both AlphaTauris needing a change of front wing. Quite a few drivers actually needing a change of front wing. We have increased the damage this season to standard, so it is a lot easier to pick up some front wing damage. But unfortunately for these drivers, no bodywork damage on these settings. Closest gap on the grid right now, it is Bean and Striffium having a drag race coming up the hill towards turn 4. Striffium on that inside. You can see the number 94 Red Bull squeezing out the Aston Martin, and Striffium will remain ahead going into the S section. Striff up 7 spots after the drivers that came into the pits, so he's off to a great start as well. Rao 1.1 seconds already out in front. He is well and truly in control of this race. Jumping a little bit further on now, Spanini putting the other Aston Martin of Waffle under quite a bit of pressure. Waffle has really dropped off the back of this train. 3.8 seconds now between himself and the Haas. And Spanini has a lot of pace in that Ferrari, and he's going to be wanting to use those medium tyres as soon as he can. While Bean going up the inside of Striffium into turn 11. Striff down to 14th place. Bean up into 13th. Jumping up a little bit further, Cotters in 7th place, chasing down Wordad in that Alfa Romeo. 5/10 is the gap. DRS will now finally be enabled as well. That's a fast lap combined YouTuber though, showing the pace the Australian has in that Ferrari. He sets fast lap of the race over 129.431 as DRS now finally gets enabled. LES1 has unfortunately lost it, but combined YouTuber will have it on this Alpine. So, is he close enough to make a move? Not quite on this occasion. He'll just have to sit behind and make sure that he doesn't lose too much time and save some of the battery as well. They are all sitting around that 60% combined use, a little bit lower, as his teammates Manini now getting past Waffle for 9th place. So they make their way towards turn 4 for this 3rd time. But the Ferrari isn't out of the woods yet, although Waffle really strong as a yellow flag. That is what the other Haas, Nick's gone around this time at turn 8. He is blocking the apex of the corner. What has happened to the Haas's in this opening round? He rejoins the track. Unfortunately, no oncoming cars. The back up further combined getting closer and closer, but this time LAS1 is now within that DRS range. Who is up 8 positions, make that 9 now. The Mercedes on absolute form at the moment. Waffle also up 9, Spanini up 7. Very, very nice done indeed. Pit stop details on screen right now. It's currently 15th through to 19th. I've already made a pit stop. Unfortunate for Cattle King, who was taking out 2 corners into this race. Now, on board with the Ferrari driver as they are now all within this DRS. So LAS1 will have the speed that he needs to defend from this Ferrari going down into turn 1. But combined has a little look to the inside, a little bit later on the brakes as well as the Ferrari. Getting very, very close to the back of that Alpine rear wing. A little bit further down, we have a drag race now between the Mercedes and the McLaren. Looks like Lamilton, a little bit early on the brakes, has that inside line. The McLaren of Hello Hacker trying to go around the outside. They're now going side by side through turn 2. They bang wheels a little bit. Looks like the Mercedes runs a little bit off track. Henners with the 3-second time penalty, the Mercedes will have to yield that position. Now Bean is going to get both of them up the inside now into turn 4 on those soft combat tyres. The Aston Martin, he's going to get turn 1. The Mercedes getting a little bit squirrelish out of the exit of turn 4, and the Aston Martin makes 2 places in 1 and using those soft tyres to good effect. Well done from the Aston Martin driver. Amazing, amazing stuff. But Hamilton still putting Hello Hacker under a lot of pressure at the moment. As well as being put under a lot of pressure is this AlphaTauri of Paula. Of course, Paula driving for AlphaTauri last season. So she'll be wanting to show that she has the pace at her new team as well. 2/10 is the gap between those two at the moment. It's a little update on Cotters. He is now 2/10. Oh, Larkin's gone around. Larkin's gone around the exit of turn 8 as well. He's facing the wrong way, is the AlphaTauri. So unfortunate there. Turn 8 catching out quite a few drivers already in the early stages of this race. And that's not usually the point where you see drivers spinning a lot. But here we go. This should be a fairly easy overtake. Cotters, look at the speed that the Williams car has. To the left-hand side and easily gets past the Alfa Romeo of Wordad into that first braking zone. But with the DRS assistance a little bit further up in this fight for the lead of the race, LAS1 using that battery as well. In fact, all three of these drivers using their battery a lot. LAS1 has really closed the gap to that Red Bull car. AlphaTauri having great success in the European tiers thus far this week, not having the best showing in America's Tier 2 thus far. LAS1 running a little bit wide. I dare say that might be a track limit warning as well for the Alpine. He's really pushing that car as much as he can to stay with this Red Bull, because the moment that Raul makes his way out of that DRS, he is in well and truly in control of things. Actually, no, the Red Bull's gone deep. Red Bull's gone deep at turn 10. This might open up an opportunity for LAS1 to close up even further, but no, not close enough to make a move on this occasion. Jumping back a little bit further, the two Aston Martins now 9th and 10th, trying to put the Ferrari of Spanini under a lot of pressure. Hello, I'm Hacker right behind them as well. Looks like Hamilton has fallen off the back of those four cars. But no moves just being made. Looks like Yosei putting Jay Forsyth under a lot of pressure as well at the back of things for 17th place. But now jumping up on board with the Alpine of LAS1. DRS in full utilization. He's also within slipstream range. You can see that combined, the gap between the Ferrari and the Alpine is remaining stable. He's gaining on the Red Bull as the Alpine driver, and he's forced a mistake. Raul's gone deep. He's put him under pressure. Can he get the switchback that he needs? Get the better run, better drive out of turns 2 and 3. DRS, ERS now open as the Alpine goes to the right-hand side, looking from the rearview mirror. Oh, but Raul's going to come back and try to hang it around the outside, but that's going to be an easy move for the Alpine, and he takes control in the lead of things in this race. Combined YouTuber having a little bit of a look now as well. Well, he might have the superior one-lap pace over these guys, but he looks like he's coming under a lot of pressure and cracking, making mistakes under that pressure as well. But he's still very, very close to the back of this Alpine rear wing. Meanwhile, a little bit further behind, looks like Helm Hacker and Bean having a little bit of exchange. The McLaren getting in between the two Aston Martins. Combined YouTuber doing all that he can as the third car on the train. It is very, very hard to make pass. He just has to bide his time and wait for his opportunities. They will come, and it's still very, very early in this race. Just a couple of spots behind them now. Major Castleman starting to put Henry under a lot of pressure, and he has a lot of battery in reserve as well, does the Mercedes driver. Bit of Mercedes now. This, I do believe this is second season in the Mercedes team. And he's showing that he knows that car and that team inside and out as well. But I dare say we might just be ready to witness another exchange for the lead. And here we go. Trying to break the toe is the Alpine, but it's not quite working. Raul and Combine both following in. And here we go, the Red Bull to the inside line for turn 1, you can see. Later on the brakes as well. Oh, he's gone deep once again on the brakes, and he won't have DRS to fight back now. LAS1 is going to get past, and this might be the opportunity that Combine's looking for. No DRS for the Red Bull. He just asks the slipstream. Can he get close enough for the Ferrari? And Raul gets semi-defensive, but not quite close enough as the Ferrari, but he might be able to get the run out of turn 4. No, not quite, but he is putting the Red Bull under so much pressure at the moment. It's only a matter of time before he cracks once again, and that's the second lap in a row that Raul has gone deep at that turn 1 apex. And all this battling now has meant that Hennens and Castleman are well and truly in the fight for this race win as well. Hennens and Castleman both have time penalties at the moment, so not quite out of the woods just yet. But here we go, all these cars very, very close together. There's absolutely nothing separate them at the moment. Henry actually might be looking to dive on the Ferrari of Combined YouTuber, and what a move from the Williams. Combined just not quite checking in his mirrors. Didn't think that Henry would go for it, but of course Henry goes for those kinds of moves. And that is the Williams up into 3rd place, but still has that time penalty to contend with. Combined down to 4th. Let's have a quick check-in on this train for 8th place, being led by Spanini. He's trying to pull a gap on Moffalorian, and these are the medium runners right now, so it looks like Ben has to keep using those softs to try and make any progress that he can, as it looks like LAS1 has pulled the pin. He is going for that undercut pretty early, if I dare say so myself. at least for the medium tyres. What tyre is it going to be for the Alpine? All eyes on that timing tower. As once again, Raul going a little bit deep into turn one. It is the medium compound tyres, so hopefully he's able to make those stretch to the end of this race. Where does he emerge? It looks like he might be in some clear air now. If you are Raw, if you are Hennes, if you are Combined, even Major Castleman, what do you do? Do you have to respond, or do you still have life left in those soft compound tyres? Bean also now going into the pits for a fresh set of mediums. And LS1 has come out in clean air. Oh, Connors is out. Connors has lost it at the exit of turn 7. That may be a safety car. That car is in a pretty awkward spot. I dare say he might have just lost it on the exit curb. His car is well and truly in the runoff, and that is no safety car, but that is a Williams down one car. Somebody with his words of wisdom in the chat, mediums can make it to the end, but they will not be feeling good come the closing stages. And when you need the tyres at that closing stages in that DRS train, when it's all on the line, sometimes 1, 2, maybe even 3 laps of tyre advantage is all you need to really take the win. I do believe there's somebody that you actually won a race around Monza a couple of seasons ago with that kind of tyre saving mentality. Major Castleman very close to the back of this Ferrari. However, these guys all have DRS once more, but he's using the overtake. Look at the battery Combined, very low on ERS appointment. Combined going defensive, going into turn 1. Castleman can't quite find the way around, but can he get the better drive out of turns 1 through turns 2 and 3 to make a pass on the Ferrari? I don't think he's quite close enough, but Hennes, no, he's not quite close enough either. These guys will just remain line astern going into turn number 4. Meanwhile, LAS1 is still gaining on them as we speak. We'll try and get the gap to leader now. He is about 21 seconds away, so a pit stop around here around 22, 23 seconds. So we'll be emerging 2 seconds in the lead as things stand right now. So very interesting to see how things progress for the Alpine, because this could be there we go. Nick getting passed by Strifium into turn 7. Red Bull now making it up into 11th place. Now 3.8 seconds is the gap. Hello, Nick. Going very wide at turn 9, trying to get the best run he can out of turn 10. But it isn't quite going to be enough. Combined. Trying to close in. We have a pitter that is Raul going into the pit lane. Combined follows him in. Responding, Hennes and Castleman both stay out. Wordad as well, making it the 3 out of the leading pack. Now we're going to jump right on board with the Alpine of LAS1. He is now coming around the final corner, and he is going to get a massive undercut on all of these guys. You see he's been really pushing 9% battery left in the tank. And you can just see coming into shot now as they exit the pit lane, and well and truly has undercut these two. About 2 or so seconds between LS1 and Raul, and if you remember, they were right next to each other going into the pits. But of the drivers that have stayed out so far, Castleman and Henry, very, very close. In fact, Major Castleman might actually get the move done here. He uses a little bit of that battery, but Henry just has a bit more straight line speed on this occasion to stay in front. Jumping back to this battle for now, what is 4th position for the guys who started on those medium compound tyres. LAS1 has indeed joined the back of the train. Now, this is where things get interesting, because LAS1 has to clear this traffic as quickly and as efficiently as he can, as Alvarez has crashed this time at the top of turn 4, and that is a virtual safety car. No, correction, that made that a full safety car. The full safety car has now been deployed, so Hennes, Castleman, and Wordad are going to be absolutely laughing, because they're going to go straight into the pit lane, be on fresher medium tyres. Oh, this is going to be close. This is going to be close. All these drivers need to adhere to the Delta pace, which I believe is around 40% of the racing speed. And there we go, mediums for Hennes, mediums for Castleman, mediums I dare say for Wordad as well. We have the medium stars coming into the pit lane as well. Where does LAS1 emerge? He is going to emerge in 2nd place. Henry He has gotten very lucky with that safety car. And Fuba, I have to agree with you. Hennes has got it. LAS1 in second. Rao in third. Combined in fourth. Castleman in fifth. All these guys who start on the medium, they need to go for the hards in order to make it to the end of this race. So that has really mucked up their strategy. But a safety car on lap 11 of 29. Unfortunately for Alvarez, losing it at the top of the hill, putting the power down a little bit too quickly at the exit of turn 4. Now with the safety car laps, that does mean that LAS1's tyres are able to save a little bit of life. He's able to save a little bit of life in those tyres, so he won't be as tyre wear critical at the end of this race, but he will still have a tyre disadvantage. Larkin putting on a set of fresh soft compound tyres. He's down there in 17th, makes to make up a couple of positions. If you're just joining us, welcome. Welcome. Misfits Racing. My name is Mikhail from Sydney, Australia. I'll be taking you through the Americas Tier 2 grid. We have 2 races coming tomorrow. The European Tier 1 split and the Americas Tier 1 split. Americas Tier 1 will be at the same time as this race. That is 9 PM Eastern. And I believe that's 3 AM for those of you in Europe. We'll see if Becky B can start his 3-piece challenge in the best possible way with a win tomorrow night. We'll have to wait and see. So, Spinini going into the pit lane, getting off those tyres, is going to bite the bullet, lose that track position, but be on the better compound of tyres. So watch the pit stop. He will be emerging right behind Jay Fasai. I think he gets ahead of Larkin. It's going to be close on the exit. But yeah, he's going to be ahead of Larkin. So he's lost a lot of track position. So you remember he was around where Wolf Lauren is now. However, he will have the tyre advantage. Larkin going into the pits as well, putting on a fresh set of mediums to go to the end of this race, just satisfying that 2 tyre compound roll, and I dare say that is very, very smart from the AlphaTauri indeed. Just wait for the safety car to come in. So, theoretically, all of these drivers can now make it to the end of this race. Strifium in P12, by the way. Yes, I see that, Fuba. Strifium having a pretty quiet race at the moment. Just doesn't quite have the pace of the rest of the drivers on this field, but he has kept it clean thus far. And also, with this safety car period, that means that Werdat and Castleman were able to serve their 5-second time penalties, so they don't have to worry about those come the end of the race. However, it is only Hennes. So, I think we are back, I dare say. And it looks like the restart has begun. And Larkin going off track. They're trying to get past Spinini. Uses the off track to get a better exit. Can he make it past? But no, not on this occasion. So, as things stand right now, Hennes in the lead of things. LAS1 with Rao right behind a Major Castleman, combined YouTuber Werdat. As looks like he's been able to gain a position. Also, yellow flag. That's Paula Brady around at the top of the hill at turn 13. So very, very unfortunate indeed. But all these drivers very, very close together. Spinini thinks better about making a dive on Jay for that 14th place. We finally get some timing intervals now. DRS will be enabled the next lap. It looks like Nick putting the Mercedes under a lot of pressure as Lamilton goes very, very defensive. Around the outside goes the Haas. Haas versus Mercedes. You don't normally see this in real life. But the Mercedes... Oh no! Nick's gone around. He's hit the wall. Too eager on the throttle coming out at turn 3. And that is absolute disaster for Haas at the moment. So, Larkin getting very close to the back of Spinini, but unable to make a move on this occasion. You can see all the cars making their way through turn 8 now, and the field is starting to get a little bit separated between our top 6 and the rest. Both Aston Martins struggling to maintain the pace with the front group. Major Castleman getting ever closer to the back of this Red Bull, who now is experiencing dirty air for the first time in this race. Double dose of dirty air, mind you. All these drivers are gap stable around that 4/10 mark. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, Jay Fasai getting very close to Jose. And McLaren looking for an ample opportunity to pounce and get that position, because these early positions on the safety car restart could be make or break come the end of the race. So as they come across the line now, DRS should now be re-enabled for the start of lap 15 up towards turn 4. They go DRS for all of these drivers except for the 2 Aston Martins down there in 7th and 8th. But everyone's keeping it nice and tidy for the time being. No changes in either group of cars. Looks like Hamilton really struggling as well. Striffium putting him under a lot of pressure for the time being. No dives into turn 8. So Spinini getting very close there, almost nose to tail as a Ferrari runs wide. And that's going to allow Larkin to go around the outside of turn 9. All it takes is one mistake, ladies and gentlemen. And that is all that you need sometimes to get a move done. All these drivers gaining with that DRS. You can see how potent that DRS and slipstream is. Striffium really attacking the apex of turn 11, with Jay Fasai getting ever closer to these 2 Honda-powered cars. Striffium a little bit deep at the apex of turn 13. That might open him up to threat from the Alpha Tower behind. But Striffium actually looks like he's going to make a move up the inside. Jose with the front row seats. These two bank wheels. Hamilton goes a little bit off the road. They're trying to maintain the position. And now it's going to be a drag race for all 3 of these guys. It's 3 wide now. The Alpha Tauri versus Red Bull versus the Mercedes. And now the, looks like the McLaren as well of Jay Fasai trying to go around the outside. It's 2 by 2 by 2 almost. And here we go. It's all starting to kick off here. The Mercedes without DRS. As Jose goes up the inside, Striffium trying to defend from the other AlphaTauri of Larkin. Oh, and there's 2 spinners there. That's Jay and Jose. Both going on. One going to the left, one going to the right. Hamilton as well has been caught up on that. He's missing a front wing. And oh my goodness me, Striffium's back up into the points. Larkin though is still right on his tail. Now Hennis is starting to struggle. He's made a mistake. LS1 has gotten past him. Now Rao using his ERS. Striffium is now out of the session. He's crashed at the exit of turn 8. And that is a safety car just as Rao makes it past Henry. Striffium out of this race. The exit of turn 8, much like he did in qualifying, but he's done a little bit further up this time. F in the chat for Striffium, if you please. So, Cody said that 16 could open up the potential to pit for fresh softs, and since the lobby was restarted, everyone does indeed have a set of fresh softs, and that is what LES1 is doing. That is what Rao is doing. Hennes stays out though. Major Castleman stays out. Combined YouTube now into the pits. Word down into the pits. Bean into the pits. All these drivers are now going into the pits. Hennes and Major Castleman have pulled a blunder. Everyone is pitting for these fresh, soft compound tires. And Spinini stays out, not wanting to double stack, but I dare say the double stack might have actually been a play. It is a very, very busy pit lane at the moment. A front wing change for the Alpha Tauri. And all these guys coming out. Jose stays on hards. Larkin's put on a fresh set of hard compound tyres as well. Maybe they don't think the softs can make it to the end of the race. Bean, Howard, Hackler, Waffle all putting on the mediums. Paula has put on her set of scrubbed mediums. But unfortunate for Striffium. to be out of this one. That is a second safety car. So we're just going to need to wait for Nick to catch the back of the field. This has saved his race after his earlier spin at turn 3. Doing his best Nikita Mazepin impression. But fortunately was able to keep the car running. Rhapsody thinks too many laps for the softs. They'll equal mediums in 5 laps. Well, 5 laps means you got 5 to go. And with the safety car laps, there'll be at least 2 more laps under the safety car. So that might only be the 3 laps where the mediums are indeed faster than the softs. And if they pull enough of a gap, that could be the advantage they need to secure some really good points. You have to remember though, these are scrubbed mediums for our front few. And Jose still on those hards is going to be an absolute cork in the bottle for anyone behind that AlphaTauri in 7th. This race has been completely flipped on its head with that safety car. We have a tyre sitting there on the starting grid as well. You'll have to see it. Larkin getting off of those hards. Jose though has stayed out once again, so is committing to the hard tyre strategy. And I dare say that is the wrong call, because he's going to get absolutely swamped by everyone behind him on those fresher and softer compounded tyre. I think everyone on the softs is in a good spot, and it's all about making these moves early. But will they hit the cliff? That is the question being asked in chat and being debated between Sliminian and Rhapsody at the moment. Will these soft tyres hit the cliff at the end of the race? Which tyre is the right tyre to be on? Will there even be another safety car after this? Certainly in the realm of possibility. Just going to wait and see how things go. I dare say the safety car. I think the safety car will actually be out for another lap. So it'll be green at the end of lap 19, the start of lap 20. And all these laps that these drivers are doing on the safety car are benefiting the soft runners more and more, because it pushes that cliff further and further away. So they may not hit it until the last half lap of the race. Will the pace advantage be enough for LAS1, Brow, combined YouTuber, Wordad to make those positions, as well as those towards the back of the field on fresh, soft compound tyres? The likes of Lamilton, Jay Fasai, Larkin, and Nick as well. Leave your predictions in the chat. I'm seeing some from the Holtzman, the legendary Holtzman, from Rhapsody, from Summit as well. What does the rest of the chat think? Who is going to win this race? Who is in the best position to win this race? And what is our podium going to look like in approximately 15 minutes' time? Paula Brady going into the pit lane, putting on a set of fresher, soft compound tyres. So she's made the call. But yes, this extra lap under the safety car is going to benefit these guys even more. Combined YouTuber and Jose switching positions momentarily under the safety car. Hopefully that hasn't caused any issues. So if you're Henry in this situation, you still have that time penalty. You're the only person with the time penalty on this entire grid. Now I don't know how legitimate that time penalty is, because we all know that the extension at the exit of turn 4 can cause quite a few issues with the game's track limit coding. But if it is legitimate, then you are in a very, very bad spot. The safety car will be in at the end of this lap. Shout out to Wobble in the chat there. It's 4 a.m. Hope you're enjoying this midnight race. Early morning race. And I hope you don't have anything important to do this Wednesday. So the safety car has been called in this lap. Will go on board with the Mercedes of Major Castleman. The middle runner on these older medium compact tyres. They didn't pit. Our top three did not elect to pit under the safety car. Neither did Jose in that Alpha Tauri either in 7th place. Everyone else has pit for fresh tyres, whether that's softs or mediums. It's a bit up in the air. Most of the drivers thinking that the soft compact tyre is the tyre to be on for the remaining 10 laps of this race, but the safety car is now in the pit lane. It's all eyes on this Williams, and he's pulled the pin. It's go, go, go. We are racing once again. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing. And it's been a very, very nice restart for LAS1, closing right up to the back of Spanini here. Combined YouTuber as well, putting the Red Bull under a lot of pressure. Oh my goodness, late on the brakes is the Alpha Tauri, and Wordad's going to make it past now. Through turn 1, Major Castleman. Go for the lead of things. Henry going defensive, going into turn 4 as Helen Mahaka gets past, being there for 9th place. Henry maintaining the lead of this race, followed by Major Castleman, Spanini, and then LAS1 as they're going side by side into the S's. And he makes it through. Spanini, compromise run. Does Raul go for a move, extends the track a little bit, but is able to keep the Red Bull behind as the Ferrari driver. Now Raul, he's going to look up the inside of turn 10. And he has got that move done using the advantage on those soft compact tyres. Now his combined YouTuber servers get past his teammate. And I dare say he won't make that one too difficult. Actually, no, he doesn't let his teammate pass. He's going to hold him up, is Spanini. So combined needs to make them smooth on the merit, it seems. And Spanini not doing combined any favours whatsoever. In fact, he's pushing him into the clutches of Wordad. They've lost DRS, so I don't know what Ferrari are up to. But he is left combined with a lot of work to do if he wants to have any shot at winning this race. Wordad up the inside now on Spanini. Going into turn 14. Spanini has to fight this if he wants to help out his teammate anymore, but he can't. He just doesn't have the resources to do it. And Wordad is now through for that 6th place. Jumping up a little bit further now. Castleman putting Henry under a lot of pressure once again. A little bit of tap now actually between our top 3. That is allowed Raul looking up the inside of turn 2. He's picked up a 3-second time penalty. Trying to get a little bit too eager. 3 seconds now for our pole man. That Red Bull trying to go up the inside of LAS1. Combined YouTuber now back in that DRS range as we're going to have the lovely, lovely helicopter camera of all these cars. You can see how close they are going through the S section. As Wordad was able to get past Spanini a little bit earlier, so now he's going to try and catch up. There's a side-by-side now between LAS1 and Raul. You can see them running towards turn 9 and 10. The Red Bull going around the outside. Is it going to be enough? He runs off the track. He's going to have to give that position back, but it's still going to be a drag race between LAS1 and Raul, both using that DRS. Not that DRS, the ERS, I should say. And LAS1 has the inside line for turn 1, but he hasn't made that move just yet. Raul going up the inside of turn 12 now. He pushes the Alpine offline. They are still going at it going into turn 13. They still are banging wheels, but the Red Bull does eventually make it past. And all this battling has meant that combined YouTuber has gotten closer and closer to this fight. He's dropped Wordad from a second. DRS is going to be enabled at the start of this lap. And now, LAS1 close to the back on the Red Bull. But no movements just yet for our top 5. Once again, there's banging at the apex of turn 1 as the checkup really is significant. Now Major Castleman with the DRS and ERS assistance. Going to the inside of turn 4. They're still side by side. They have to leave room. Henry trying to leave it around the outside. They are wheel to wheel now. Going through into the yes section. Castleman, though, is going to make it. Look at the Red Bull. Look at the Red Bull now trying to make an opportunity to move. Gets forced off the track from the Williams. Dives up the inside. Using the softs. LAS1 is going to try and follow him through, but he's lost it on the exit of the corner. So Raul now up into 2nd place. Trying to make amends for that 3-second time penalty he got just a little bit earlier. And it looks like Raul going to make a move now onto the Mercedes of Major Castleman goes a little bit deep, but manages to pull up the car in time. Now the Red Bull is in the lead of this race. Now it's hammer time for that Red Bull as he tries to pull the gap that he needs away from the soft runners, away from his old medium runners, as LES want to combine YouTuber now have their turns at trying to get through this medium runner traffic. Henry going defensive into turn 14. Might compromise his line just slightly. You can see a little bit twitchy on the exit of the corner. Now ERS now in full utilization for the Alpine to the right hand side. Henry can't go exactly very defensive. He's trying to make an attack on Major Castleman as well. One at a time for the Alpine as he makes it past now one of the medium runners. He makes it past Henry. Now he's literally pushing Major Castleman through the corner using the ERS at his disposal. Can he close up enough? Is he going to go for the dive? No, not quite close enough, but combined YouTuber is going to make the dive on Henry now into turn 4. Has to leave space on the exit here, but with the tire advantage, I dare say he might be able to get this move done. And yes, he has. The Australian now up into 4th place as right in front of the Major Castleman getting past LES1 now into turn 8. Now combined, it's his turn to try and get past Mitchell. Oh, it's been hit! And it's just gone around into him. Ender is out of the race. And the Ferraris have come together as well. What is going on? That's a safety car. Combined YouTube has a 5-second time penalty for hitting his teammate. What has happened now? And you have to pit for fresh softs. Even if you're on softs already, you need to pit for another set for this 5-lap sprint, 4-lap sprint it could be, to the end of this race. Mattia Binotto not going to be happy. Not going to be happy at all. But now, what does the Red Bull do? Does he pit? No, he elects to stay out. LES1 stays as well. Major Castleman is staying out too. Word out into the pits to fix that front wing. The Ferraris. Looks like it's only Spinini that got damage on that occasion. But now, looks like no one is really pitting for a fresh set of softs. Interesting call. Interesting call. But that makes it both Williams out of the race, actually. So, now he's in the best spot. Raul still has that 3-second time penalty. Combined, may be able to get that 5 seconds removed, maybe not. It's still up to the stewards at the end of the race, but as things stand right now, he does have that 5-second time penalty to contend with, and not a lot of laps to really pull that gap. Major Castleman on the oldest medium tires of anyone on this grid is still currently sitting 3rd, so he is going to be on the full defensive, trying to maintain that podium place. I'm surprised that more people didn't pit, to be honest. I'm with you there, Summit. I'm with you there. Because the softs really wear out rather quickly, as Rhapsody has already mentioned in the chat. Who has jumped word at? I have no idea. I'll be honest, I wasn't really paying attention. May have been in the pit lane. These guys outside of the points right now have nothing to lose. They can put on those fresh set of softs and try and use the extra grip that they will have to their advantage. And we may actually, if Bean is able to catch up to the safety car really quickly, the safety car might be coming in at the end of this lap. But it's not, because Rao has fallen back behind. He has fallen back from the safety car to make sure that it doesn't come in at the end of this lap. So it looks like the Red Bull does not want to go racing just yet. But we will be green at the end of lap 25. So it will be for 4-lap sprint to the end. 4 laps is all that these drivers are going to get. Quick update on the penalties. Everyone with 3 seconds except for combined YouTuber who got the 5 seconds for colliding with his teammate. We'll have to investigate that after the session, no doubt. So, get the tyre details back up on screen. So everyone didn't pit. I'm surprised Major Castleman didn't pit either. But he wants that track position. He thinks that he could hold off these guys on fresher tyres for the remaining 4 laps. I wouldn't discount the likes of Wordad, Lamilton, Jose, Spanini, even Bean to sneak their way into the points with the tyre advantage that they have, because fresh softs compared to worn softs is quite a big jump. But the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. 26, 27, 28, 29. Those are your 4 laps. 4 laps sprint to the end with the majority of this grid on relatively fresh, soft compound tyres. There is the official word from Race Control. So all eyes on this Red Bull. Here, this one trying to burn a little bit of fuel. This has been the 3rd safety car that has been deployed. Here we go. The safety car is now in the pit lane, and Rao has gone absolutely immediately, and he's caught LAS1 napping. Major Castleman actually having a drag race now with LAS1 as they make their way down towards turn 1. The slipstream in full utilization for the Alpine to try and hold that 2nd place. He might just be able to do it. Meanwhile, a little bit further behind him, Paula and Wolf-Luren going side by side. They bang wheels, and the Aston Martin's around. They've touched, and the Aston Martin has now dropped to the back of this field. A little bit further behind, it looks like Nick trying to make his way past Larkin up the inside of turn 4, and that is the Haas now up into 8th place after spinning. 2 safety car restart to go. Wordad side by side with Spanini going through the S section. Jose switches aggressively to the inside line, and they're 2 by 2. The Ferrari trying to get the best traction that he possibly can out of that corner, and he's able to hold on with that 11th spot. Jumping a little bit further, combined YouTuber now trying to use the tyre advantage to get past this Mercedes and try and do everything that he can to salvage whatever points are possible. But it is so close between all the drivers on this grid. Here we go. Lap 27 of 29 as things stand right now. Combined, very close to the back of Major Castleman, who's actually done a fantastic job holding up the Ferrari and trying to salvage that podium place. Hello, I'm Hacker, Paula Brady, very close as well. The grid has definitely spread out since the last time we were able to see it. But combined should be able to make that easily past Major Castleman. Paula, as there's a lot of debris on the start-finish straight, making his way now. However, Spanini might get double overtaken here. Late on the brakes, trying to defend. Oh yeah, it looks like it might be Jose. Oh no, the Ferrari! Oh my goodness me, the Ferrari and AlphaTauri have come together. Jose is out of this session. What is going on? Combined YouTuber makes his way back up onto the podium places for now. But Larkin picks up a 3-second time penalty there, down in 8th position. Lap 28 of 29, the penultimate lap of this race, and it's still everything to play for. Looks like Rao making the gap that he can. He's broken DRS range from LAS1, but still has that 3-second time penalty to contend with. So it is looking very, very dire indeed, and it's looking pretty good for the Alpine to take the win of this race. Paula, 3/10 is the gap between herself and Hello, I'm Hacker to secure a 5th place, which would make it a 1, potentially a 1-4 for the Alpine team in this first round of America's Tier 2. Lamilton, Bean, having a little bit of a drag race. You can see how close they are going towards this final braking zone as the leaders have now started the final lap of this race. Looks like Lamilton is suffering with quite a bit of understeer. He might have damage on his front wing. We can't see anything visually, but it is definitely costing him. The final lap of this race, Jay with the speed. Look at the Mercedes, the McLaren The Mercedes brakes really early, going really defensive. Jay might be able to get both of them here. Makes it past one. Unable to make it past the other though. It's combined up the inside, going into turn 4. Gives that place back. Might have been an illegal overtake for the Ferrari. He'll have to wait for another opportunity, but there's only really one, maybe 2 opportunities left, and that's into turns 11 and turn 14. Can't quite get close enough. The gap's still building out in front, mind you. 1.7 seconds now. But I fear it's a lap too late if Rail wants to keep this race win. ERS not using it. DRS though is using it. Not quite close enough to make a move as the Ferrari. Have to wait for another occasion. Meanwhile, Jay, Bean, not quite close enough either to make a move into turn 11. Here we go, Lamilton going really defensive through the S's. Oh my goodness, Bean getting so close to touching. But they aren't quite close enough, but as they come across the line, Rao will win the race on the road, but it'll be LAS1 taking the first race win of the Season 6 here in MRL. Bean going for the move, unable to quite make it, as Major Castleman will hold off the guys on those soft tires to round out the podium. Paula in 4th place, Hellermacher in 5th, Wordat in 6th, combined goes down to 7th with his penalties. And that is a crazy, crazy race. Absolutely crazy. Driver of the day, Hellermacher, gaining the most amount of positions throughout this one. But man, oh man, congratulations to LAS1 for taking the first race win, and congratulations to formerly known as Captain Major Castleman, who was able to hold off those soft runners. Combined did have that time penalty, but even still, to have even a shot at defending against fresh softs on those aging mediums, you have to give props to him for that. So just confirmation of the results as the fireworks are going off. It is LAS1 with the race win. Fastest lap and runners-up spot goes to Rao with a 129.073. Major Castleman rounds out the podium for Mercedes. Paula makes it an Alpine 1-4, so a very nice result for the team duo there. Hellermacher in 5th, Wodown in 6th, combined in 7th. Jay Fasai in 8th, Bean in 9th, and Larkin rounds out your 10 finishes. Lamilton 19th to 11th, a good effort, but unable to. I don't know why Larkin's reading is 0 stops, but he was classified. He did satisfy the 2 tyre compound rule, so don't worry about that. Nick in 12th, Spanini in 13th, Wolfaloren in 14th, Jose in 15th, and unfortunate for the back 6, Jose, Henry, Striff, Alvarez, Cotters, and Cattle King, who were unable to finish this race. Unfortunately, I can't be around for interviews because I have places to go and people to see. So that'll be the end of the stream here. And apologies to all of our podium sitters. Hopefully there'll be less technical issues, and do tune in tomorrow for both tier 1s. The fastest of the fast will be taking to the Sakir International Circuit, the Bahrain International Circuit, to see what they're able to do to start their campaigns before we head towards Saudi Arabia next week for Jeddah, and that'll be a crazy, crazy race as well. My name is Mikhail. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the subs, the follows as well, and thank you for bearing with me as the technical difficulties reared their ugly heads once again. That's all from me. Bye for now, and always remember to wear your seatbelt.